TGIF, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Have No Sphere. It's a nice, sedate Josh this afternoon. I'm liking it. We got a big show planned for you, though. Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff in the news. Lots of stuff going on here in the realm. Some changes happening, as you may well see now. Anyway, stick around. I think it's going to be a fun show. I so dig that song. Now, rumor has it, we may have an extended version headed our way in the very near future. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing what sort of artistic bent is going to be added. If you listen real close right here at the end as it fades out, there's some really interesting strings he's got going on in there. I'm just real curious to hear what he comes up with. It's good stuff. Well, welcome, everybody. TGIF. TGI flat. It's Friday. I'm goofy. I've been up since 3 a.m. We had a hell of a show this morning over there on the Ironworks on Truth Frequency Radio with Walt and Zach. Let me just write in and say hello to one Mr. Walter. Walter, how you doing?
Trying to find the mute button. That's how I'm doing. Luckily, I know a shortcut. How are you all? Hello, everybody. I haven't even gotten to the page yet. I don't even know who's in chat. So hello, I'm glad you're there, but I'll be there in a minute. How was the rest of your day, Josh?
It was good. You know, slaving away. Got to earn those life credits. Don't want to die in the street like a dog. So that's all I did. Just went to work. Jetted home and been here ever since. Trying to get everything situated. Now that we've got this new format we're trying. I like it. I'm digging it. Lots of fun stuff to be had here on this platform. Yeah, I don't know, but we'll see how it works. This will be our maiden voyage, so to speak. But also joining us this morning over on the Ironworks was Zachary Zabala, the nomad, one Mr. Too Nice for Rice. How's your afternoon, Zach? You've been busy building the smoker.
Yeah, it's been awesome here. Actually, we'll go take a look at it real quick. It's made some new modifications to it. We're just going to have the stand-up smoker like this. Made all the handles, the hinges, everything. It's been fun. Just an old water heater. And then we found another water heater and thought, hey, let's make that the main thing, and we'll rest this thing sideways on it, and we'll have it super big and gigantic. And so, yeah, it's been so much fun here at the McKenzie household. Just taking other people's garbage and turning it into treasure.
That's
a little bit of electricity. Oh, it's amazing what welding can do. It's a neat feeling, John. It's like picking a lock almost, man. It's kind of like that kind of feeling. You take two pieces of metal that are just, and you make them into one. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But no, it's been awesome. Got a lot of work in the gardens done. Now just waiting on when it's time to plant. Excited.
That's cool. Well, speaking of one Mr. John Savage, I know John is here. Welcome. John, how's your week been?
Hi, Josh. Hi, guys. Yeah, week's been all right. Flies by. I can't believe it goes so bloody quickly, but it's been relatively eventful, I suppose. I nearly burnt the house down, and I'm still alive. I'm still feeding myself, still managing to... Dog's still here, and
Do you have pants on right now? That's the question.
I do. I always do. It's too fucking cold. It's -2 outside here. But yeah, no, I finished the bathroom. I finished the hot water cylinder install, and yeah, I'm too chicken to test it at the moment. I'd love to get into welding though, Zach, like you say, but it's not quite as cheap as lock picking. But
Oh, just test it, John. Test it live on air. What's the worst that could happen?
well, I've got a bunch of car batteries and some stick welding stuff that I was planning on having a play with it. But yeah, at some point, I think I might have to invest in a little MIG or TIG or something along those lines.
Yeah, I can see it's probably cathartic, sort of in the way my job's cathartic, just being able to take something and make a visible, noticeable change, just manipulating the reality. It's always fun. And last but never least is the Adam Meakin. Adam, I know you were trying to join us a little bit this morning over there on the Ironworks, but you said you were pretty busy in the shop today. So how was the rest of your day anyway?
It's been a funny week, hasn't it? But yeah, crazy busy, mate. As always, I managed to log in, say hello on TFR, and then that's about it. But yeah, been a busy week. I don't know what. Loads of stuff's happened. Loads of stuff, of which I'm sure it'll pop back in my head throughout today. But it's completely the only thing that sticks out really is our impromptu, non-intended. Oops, that was my fault. Pressing the wrong buttons. Broadcast in the week, really. So
that's the thing, though, Adam. Isn't it? It's so much happens that you just forget it. I do. It's like a Twitter mentality. I can sit here for an hour going through Twitter headlines, and then someone could say, "Name me a headline," and I wouldn't have a clue. It's just sort of second by second impulses or something, and then
we talked about it a bit this morning, John, that as we dig through these space lettuce stories endlessly through the week, getting ready for the two shows over on TFR, it just becomes such a repeat, rinse, repeat. It's like, did I just talk about this yesterday, last week, a month ago? It's just a blur of bullshit.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Exactly what it is. A blur of bullshit. Very well put. Well, some of you may have noticed that things do look a little bit different on the screen. That's because we're not using Skype anymore. We have gone to the next iteration of Iron Realm, started on Hangouts. That didn't last too terribly long. Damn snipers. Then there was Skype. Skype is just about as annoying with their updates as Hangouts is with sniping, having to update at least once a month, usually multiple times a month. You just never sets up right in OBS, just gives Adam a headache. And the main thing that we really wanted was a feature that only comes with the paid version of Skype. It's like Skype for business, I think is what it is. And what we wanted to be able to do was when someone talked, it would present that person the way Hangouts did it. Hangouts had a pretty cool interface in that way, that it would present the speaker, but all the other issues made us abandon it for Skype, and we just lost the being able to present the speaker. So
I've put it to that now, actually, that Josh. I don't know.
I was going to mention
it's going to work with me, actually. So once again, I'm like with the voice synthesizer. I'm impotent, I think, in terms of voice changer. Yeah, I'm not changing.
Nope, you're not changing, and you're not moving the graphic either. No. But actually, I'm not moving the graphic now that I mention it. Oh, nope, there it goes. Sorry, I guess it's that silly ass delay. Well, sweet. All sorts of cool stuff. As soon as somebody else will talk, it'll get me off the screen. So that'll be cool. It'll actually present every speaker but Adam.
Yeah, do it, because I'm no good.
Big shout out to Constance Bruns today for going on one of her first Hangouts that I've seen her on.
Oh, are you kidding? And I missed it.
Yeah, check out Ranty's Hangout, and she did that.
Man, I was watching Arwen's this morning, and they were talking about making up one over on Ranty's. And then when I went to my feed, there was Nathan live, so I hopped over there and got lost before I went and took a nap. So I never went to Randy's channel. Damn it!
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry,
need to get
Mr.
Constance.
Connie. I sure would have been on there with y'all. Damn, I sure would have. That would have
We
been
need to
awesome.
get Constance on here. We need to have a
We need
conversation.
Constance on here. It's like today. Call her now. Get her on here.
Yeah. Come on in, Constance. Josh can link it through whatever medium.
Whatever me.
I saw, like I say, I saw it was busy in the shop, and I think I had a bit of lunch while Arwen was on. Saw Ranty, and then did notice this Constance icon. So I had planned. So if it is, then as planned anyway to catch up on Ranty, I shall catch up with even more eagerness because it'd be great to hear you chat, Constance. If it was live, I could have stalked her for once. Damn.
Yep. That's just one more reason for me to go check out Ranty Flat Earth channel and all the awesome vids he's got over there. Aside from the great photographic presentations he makes, now he's also doing these great badass little live streams where Constance shows up. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and big shout out to Arwen too for kind of stepping up and
Well,
filling in.
I've got a little bit of news on that actually, Zach.
Oh, awesome.
There's a investigative journalist I know been looking into this, and it's actually the guy that's filed the claim that's took Nathan out. Turned out it's Arwen. And it's all been a big Machiavellian plot to ensure his ratings get up and he gets over 1,000 so he can get that super chat. So shout out Arwen. Great scheme, my friend.
Great plan. Great
Apologies to Ranty and the other one. Oh, God, my mind's gone. I accused them of doing it last week. Riley. Ranty and Riley. Two R's.
Somebody.
Definitely Arwen. The company was incorporated in Utrecht, as far as I can see. And like I say, the greatest internet scam ever pulled off to steal views. And I've got to say, this week, thanks, Arwen. It's been fun, been different, and I think, to be fair, mate, there's a lot of the Flat Earth community just say thanks, mate, for stepping up to the plate and
absolutely
filling that void. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, everybody go check out Arwen's channel too. He does those great early bird live streams just prior to when the Flat Earth debate would be airing. He may have even changed those times now. I don't know anymore. I'm at work all the time.
Well,
So
sometimes he does. Like yesterday, I believe he ran longer. He put on a long one yesterday.
Of course. Usually when I'm getting through with putting up picture and description for the Ironworks show on TFR, I hit YouTube right before I'm going back to bed, and he's usually wrapping it up on the days I'm checking. Like today, they were about to end and talking about going over to Randy's channel. Should have went.
Got a bit of synchronicity for you then, guys, on all that. Because just before Christmas, even though I was really busy, I kept having this thing in my head because Arwen was saying, can you give me some help with OBS and that? And I really did make time to try and get it in. There was a little voice in me that said, just got to get this done. Got to get this done. I think it was first when he got Mars just walked into his Hangouts chat. But he's set up now. And like I said, this past week, fair play, mate. I think he's done an absolutely great job hosting as well. Not being Arwen, but actually being a host and giving the other people the opportunity. And it's weird, isn't it? This community works together well. I say a little bit of odd synchronicity.
it's not easy playing show host, letting people talk. Unless, of course,
Arwen even said he can't wait for Nathan to get back. It's so much nicer not to have to have my eye on everything at all times.
definitely created a vacuum. That's for sure. Presence is missed.
You don't appreciate what you've got, do you? It's gone. I'll tell you what on Nathan, by the way. Yeah. talking about copyright and stuff. You see how he hijacked the Happy Christmas room? Someone turned it into Happy New Year, and then he turned it into Happy New Year and also Nathan is Ace. Or something like that.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Ace. That so dates him, doesn't it?
So I hope everybody is really enjoying our new presentation. We downloaded Zoom. We're now using Zoom. I don't think I ever finished that. From Hangouts to Skype to now Zoom. We are zooming around. It's good stuff. I've only been at my new job for a couple months, 3 months. I guess I just hit my 3-month mark, but still managed to eke out a bit of a bonus at the end of the year. So I just took my bonus check and abandoned Skype. Said we're just going to do it. There's only one way, and that's just to do it. So I did. I just did it. Got Zoom. So we'll be using Zoom for at least the next 12 months. So hope you guys like it because it ain't going to change. It's bought and paid for.
Yeah, we're here. Enjoy the drawing.
It's one of those really cool things that if anybody happened to catch our accidental broadcast a few days ago, it's just us getting to know Zoom. And Zoom has this really cool feature where you can annotate. So it has a whole whiteboard. So you can just bring down a whiteboard and screen share one whiteboard for everybody. And then everybody can collaborate on that whiteboard together. But more than that, you can also annotate on pictures, on videos, on just about anything. So now you just pull down the annotation and you can just draw and write and put arrows and X's and O's and all sorts of stuff all over the screen. So it'll be looking at Ranty's pictures and things that he's taking and a lot of this other stuff that we got going on a lot easier to look at together. So there won't be any question as to what it is we're talking about. We can just put a little arrow right here. This mirror band right here. This is what I'm talking about. So one of the cool features of Zoom that I think we'll probably make a whole lot of use of.
Because the 2 buttons it took to share a paint screen on previous versions was just 1 button too much.
Well, just think of the difference here, John. You share the paint screen. How do I draw on your paint screen that you share?
I don't want you drawing on my paint screen. No, it's a great facility. And, mate, thanks for shelling out your own hard-earned for that. And anyone listening should realize that we're not backed by anyone. We ain't got any money. Well, apart from Adam, but who's put in way more than he will admit to.
Hey, John, check your levels. I think you're a little low.
How's that?
Ryan Q. Vincent in chat said the guy talking is very low. Increase the volume. I'm assuming that's you because you're the one person I noticed that did seem a little bit lower than usual. I'm assuming Ryan was talking about you.
Incognito.
Thank you.
How does that sound?
Much better. Much better.
Probably get me breathing now.
It's all right. I'm the same way, especially if I'm in the morning when I'm trying to read an article or something and I'll get a little phlegmy or a little nasally and I just want to stop and clear my throat and hawk and gag and just cough all that stuff out. And I just can't because I'm in the middle of an article. So I just have to deal with it. So I just have to breathe and sound nasally. It's just nothing I can do.
How does this sound? Is that better?
It's like you just went low again.
Damn bollocks. And now? How does that sound?
A little better. I think we're good.
Cool. Tell me if I get too loud.
Definitely.
I just think it's good we've spent all this money and all we can do is draw a caterpillar and play noughts and crosses.
And he's got a cocoon around him too. You see the cocoon I made?
Oh, that's nice. So soon, it's going to evolve. What would it evolve into?
It depends on what kind of caterpillar he is. If he's a moth or.
I hope it's not a monarch butterfly.
You're assuming it's 3D though. It could be 2D. It could be a flat caterpillar. I'm trying to keep it flat.
Got a pillar.
Right, I'm getting rid of this window now off the screen because otherwise, us drawing childish pictures. It's just too much fun.
Usually when I go to participants in the chat, I don't get a good list, but there's actually a list I can say hey to people there. Hello, Aether. Hello, Constance. Flat World Logic. Shout out. Matt H. Racer FE. Ranty. Hello, sir. Red Hen Radio. If you haven't gone over there and subscribed to Travis, get over there. What are you doing? Ross
shout out
Thatcher.
to Travis while you're there,
Right?
Travis. Yeah, mate. Josh. I tried to help and I had big internet problems yesterday. And I'm still only half running properly. And I tried to help Travis. I think you're probably much better suited, but mate, give either of us a shout whenever you're back ready. He's got OBS issues. I've told him who the man is. I told him who that guy is.
That guy, right.
Well, somebody should have told me who that guy is. Otherwise, it'd have saved me a lot of trouble.
Definitely go subscribe to Red Hen Radio. There's already some great stuff in the can. Go check it out. Ross, we see you there. Ryan Q, Vincent, and The Plain Truth. Now, that's all I can see in my participant window, which usually doesn't even work at all. It just shows me. Oops, sorry. But yeah, I never can chat and type like I used to with everybody because it's always something going on.
I see Racer FE in there. Flat World Logic's in there. Soundly's Banana Cam is in there.
Anybody I missed, there's no ill will. I'm just playing with this chat, trying to make it work right. Because usually when I click on participants, it doesn't show me anybody. I have to kind of scroll through and hope I don't miss somebody. And I usually do. So.
And there's A. McKenzie. Just popped in chat, listening in while fighting shitty weather and some traffic.
I
love that Florida weather.
Shitty weather in Florida. I've heard nothing but gloating all week.
Yeah, if I would have went with him, I would have been in that shitty weather with him right now in traffic.
I know we had more stuff to talk about. We didn't just run out of stuff already, did we? We're only 20 minutes in.
No, see, I got lost in chat trying to play catch up on what everybody's talking about. And that's why I can't do it. I get so lost in it. It's just a whole different world.
It's the problem, Josh. We don't actually get started, let alone finished. We haven't run out. We just haven't even started yet.
If we're talking bollocks, then there's the bit of bollocks that we were chatting about just before the show, which is what the bloody hell's going off between Dell and Russian vids all of a sudden. Why? You know, we've had weeks, haven't we, of like the other week, Nathan talking about how the Mudflood guys have this unity, and now we've got, I don't know what's going off particularly, but now we've got more infighting between Dell and Russian vids. People that you think, is it conducive to them battling over? I don't know what. I don't know. Zach, you know a bit more, don't you, brother?
What are they arguing about?
I'm totally out of the loop on this one.
I'm not even sure what the argument is about completely. I know they have those two egos that just, it's the immovable object meets the unstoppable force type of, but I don't know, Russian Bits put out a video saying Dell was a Freemason and a Jesuit and all this. I didn't watch the whole thing. I was watching Dell earlier and he was showing the video, what he was saying kind of, and then talking about it. And it just seemed like there was no, you know how we are now. We want proof and evidence and all this kind of stuff now. And it was all just hearsay. And it was weird. It was really weird. And then he was jumping on Dell's chat because Dell will open up his chat to anybody, He has the open panel. And he kept coming on and trying to talk over him and just acting childish, it seemed like. And it just wasn't in good taste, in my opinion. It seemed kind of trollish to me, something that a troll would do.
Like I said to you earlier, Zach, I've always had the impression that Russian Vids is a bit of a change agent who's either that or he's just looking for clicks or or something. But between the two of them, I'd
I stopped
probably
watching
back
him a long
Dell.
time ago for that reason, John.
Yeah, I'd probably back Dell's as more genuine than Russian vids.
Before we get too far from the chat here, there was a few people we missed. Apparently, Nuka-Cola, he just got here. Hello, and I saw Rob was in there. Rob Ken was in there. We missed earlier. Did I miss anybody else?
I need to respond to Matt H. Walt.
Well, before that though, the thing is, over on the Plain Truth channel, they are a few short of subs. I know I've been subbed since way back. And when I went, I'm unsubbed. So everybody, kind of as just a general rule, go through your subs, go through your list. If you assume you've been subbed to somebody for a year or two, go check. You may find that you have been unsubbed by YouTube. They do it on a regular basis. So definitely go through, check your subs occasionally just to make sure everybody's still in your list that you want.
And make sure you hit the Plain Truth, hit the subscribe button over there. He's in a bit of a race with another channel.
Exactly. That's the one I'm talking about. Did
30
I say
last subs over that threshold. So go sub to him real quick while you're at it.
Well, I'm gonna unsub right now then.
What was that? What was that? Plain Truth.
Yeah, Plain Truth. If I didn't say that, I'm sorry. That's where I was. That's what started this whole thing was him, their channel. So yeah, get over there and do that. I'm still trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Damn it. All right, that's it. I'm out of chat. If I missed you, I love you, and please forgive me.
A Plain Truth is Jamie, isn't it?
Plaintruth.info is Jamie. The Plain Truth is Travis.
Is right.
The Mona Lisa drawing. That's Travis. The Plain Truth.
Right. I probably said a Plain Truth just out of habit too. So, but that's who I meant. Thank you.
Well, no, he didn't. He would have definitely said, "Hey, it's the Plain Truth." He has to tell me all the time.
This is why you should stick with me and John, the confused old men, and have the Plain Truth and a Planet Ruth.
Yeah.
A lot more straightforward. No confusion.
Have them both. And they're both great channels as well. So there you go. A Planet Ruth and Plain Truth.
And if you're nipsy and you're nasally, go ahead and set up a channel too.
Right, Matt H. Just a quick. He said it. When's the next Nottingham mate? Hit us up at ironrealmedia@gmail.com. Send me an email and I'll send you my phone number. You're down in Nottingham every week, bruv. Just hit me up next time you're down, and we'll have a pint.
Read out what you said.
I'm gonna come into it, Savage.
Well, read it first, then reply to it.
I don't know.
Meakin.
It's up there somewhere. Wait,
Savage.
Well, that was it. Where is it?
Savage!
Adam, when is the next Nottingham meetup? I am down there once a week. I thought I summarised that without needing to read, but
I'll tell you tomorrow.
I look forward to that. Appraisal is always good. What I was going to say to him is, we don't really have. I don't go to Nottingham meetups, to be honest, mate. If there was one, let me know. But the meetups I'm planning to go to is basically the one that Roxanne's got going, which is unfortunately down in London. She's doing it kind of once a month at Speaker's Corner, and I want to give him a shout out. Actually, a couple of bits on this. Actually, maybe we could cover it. First of all, a shout out to them and the commitment they're clearly giving. And secondly, did you see Riley in his jacket? He was down there in one of those high vis jackets, but instead of the yellow vis, he went orange as a supervisor with a picture of Sleeping Warrior on the back and two little pictures of Sleeping Warrior on the sides.
Anyone who can get a still image of that, show us.
He had his
yes, please.
2 cameras strapped to his male prostate stimulator phone holder, which, to be fair, worked really well. I thought it was a really good show, but it was nothing like saying, come on, have a go if you think you're hard enough, trolls, wearing that jacket. I thought it's either the ultimate in ego, or he thought, come on then, here I am, have a pop. I thought they handled everything down there again really well. Yeah, just to finalise, shout out to Roxanne. I will be coming, mate. Maybe not at the end of this month. I think I'm babysitting. Can't babysit your own, can you? Hello, what's gone off? Yeah, shout out to Roxanne because I think she's absolutely awesome. The commitment she's given and to be hosting this and kind of leading it. I know there's a lot of other people behind it. But yeah, if you do want a meetup, I think, to be honest, the UK is small enough that, and this movement's small enough that regional things like a Nottingham movement meetup is probably superseded by what Roxanne's setting up there. And if we're going to meet up, guys, it's once a month, then I'm in the centre of the country. It doesn't make much difference to me, but I think really, if we're going to make a difference and we do want to meet up, then what Roxanne's set up is just awesome and took in, because I think that's probably the best way for meeting people that are committed to this.
I know there's quite regular Bristol meetups. If you search Bristol Flat Earth meetups, there's one this month, quite soon, I think. But yeah, if that's your thing. So what are you talking about going down?
You going then, John?
I said if that's your thing. Adam, are you planning on going down every month or something, did you say?
No, not every month, but I do want to go down there. Like, Marie's off to... oh, man, the screen. Why does the screen keep doing that? That's just annoying. Set, guys. Marie's off to Italy at the end of the month, and that's when they're having it at the end of every single month down there. So I'm kind of out of action for January, but I do plan to go down February or March. Either of those I'll definitely make. So I'll make sure I'll make. So
I reckon Ranty should have one at Nicky Nook or whatever it's called. At a place that's significant for flat earthers.
That's a good place.
The middle of bloody London is a hellhole to get into, costs a fortune. It's I understand the appeal to it, but freaking London.
No, I agree, John. I think that most of these places, even the big conferences, they should be held at places where you can, walk 100 yards and go look over a large body of water or something.
Yeah.
That shows you that, hey, this is... And
in a small community as well, where you can make an impact on the local people around you. Like atop of Ben Nevis or something, and you have a corresponding meetup in Wicklow in Ireland, and you try and reflect the sun to each other or something. It'd be really cool to actually not just have a meetup, but have a reason, a purposeful meetup to perform an experiment or an observation.
I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great idea.
Next week, guys, we might have people that are organising these sort of meetup that might have a bit of an announcement for us. And I think your criteria will be satisfied, Zach. There's definitely water, some river, some canal. There's definitely greenery in two forms, both trees.
I was right there with you.
Yeah, that's a killer joke. Yeah, and I think maybe next week these guys that might be giving us a little bit more information on that. I mean, I'm privy to a bit more, and I don't want to say too much yet. But what they seem to have got planned, and I will give a spoiler because I've seen something in the Skype chat. What's going off in Amsterdam? I think Mark Devlin is on board, guys. I was kind of cheeky and asked him would he be interested in talking to Gary and Dee Dee? And kind of said, yeah. And we had kind of one meeting, and they've just took it from there, really. And I've seen in the chat tonight that definitely he's on board. So I tell you what, mate.
He's a top bloke. We had him on recently, didn't we?
Yeah.
The DJ guy.
Yeah. I'm not going to say any more what he's going to do, but what he's going to do is worth the fee for the weekend alone for me. To me, you know what I mean? I think it's absolutely awesome.
You're
I'll
poncing
leave
it for free, though, aren't you?
When
You what? Yeah,
You're poncing it for free, aren't you?
You know, John, you know.
So you've just
Not
said
what
he's
you
worth
know, is it?
free.
No. What I mean is the fee that if you wanted to go, John. Right,
Spit it out. What's he doing?
The fee that you'd have to pay if you wanted to go. would it honestly what I think is happening? It'd be worth it alone for that, because, like I say, he is an absolutely top bloke, and in his own right, outside of Flat Earth, is doing amazing work. And
What was the name of his book again?
I'm on camera.
Big shout out to Sheeps and Neeps in chat. Hang in there, brother.
Yeah, Shapes.
A lot of love and good intentions sent your way, man.
I think a lot of love. Following your story, mate. I know I gave you a shout a while back, and if any help is needed, getting you out of Scotland over to guys in the States that I know can help you a lot more directly and easily, I think contact us. I know that there's people over there that Josh and Walt can get you in touch with. I won't speak for them directly, but I know there's people there. But all you've got to do is get to the States, mate. And guys, on this subject, I'm gonna pull it up because I'm welling up.
Well, just on that bad joke, Mark Devlin's book is called Musical Truth, and Musical Truth Volume 2, just in case you're interested. Back to you, mate.
You know how we talked about what we were doing with best friend's mum. Well, the final go home report came back today. And I'll just read just the conclusion. Conclusion. Stable appearance with currently no visible disease, and all marker nodal lesions are within normal limits.
That's amazing.
You're all clear, mate. It's
awesome.
Skeleton, no skeletal metastases.
And what was the prognosis a year ago? Just off the top of your head.
11 months ago, it was 10 months to live.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It is. You hide your light under a bushel, Meakin, but this sort of stuff needs to be talked about. This needs to be put out there. I mean, that is living proof. That is what I call #test it. Oh, it infuriates me.
Yeah.
On the shoulder of giants is all I'll say, mate, on something like that.
Is there some sort of body of pharmacists that, are probably the Royal Society of Pharmacists or something, that you can go to or submit some sort of document, paper that just highlights this? I mean, along with the thousands and thousands of other examples.
Right.
But it's coming from a point of reputation, being that you're a qualified pharmacist, consultant pharmacist, etc., etc.
I'll put a question back to you, unfortunately. What do you think?
I know.
What do I think?
As he said, the complete question. I think he answered it.
What?
There are pharmacists, qualified pharmacists that know this shit, that have done it, tested it, have the proof, have the results. Is there a government-led body that in some way is leading that? You know the answers. You need to dissect that bullshit.
Well, then we need to bring it to people's knowledge independently then and screw them. But I think even a formality of informing them so that you can say you were informed.
Oh, savage, mate. The only way, unfortunately, is idiots like me going on YouTube talking like this and getting a complaint put against me, the professional body. No,
well, you've been gagging for that for at least.
When it comes, it fucking comes, doesn't it? But there you go. But, you know,
Might as well
and
be
that's
over
they're going
then,
to push it to the front, and I'll stand there, and I'll stand there proud, mate.
Fuck yeah.
And they'll never
That's
do
why
it
I love you.
because you've got the evidence. You've got something that can't be disputed or hasn't been shown thousands of times before. I mean, this is just madness. It is a crime against humanity that a simple plant cannot be grown, cultivated, and used as a medicine to get rid of what is one of the most hideous conditions, the family wreckers and breakers, and the amount of people we all know who've been taken prematurely by this illness. It just beggars belief. It really does.
And you know,
well, it's all part of agenda. Their agenda, John. The whole eugenics thing. I mean, it's not an accident.
No, it's not. But it's evidence like this that highlights their agenda, that pulls the head out of the ass of people who use the word conspiracy theory and think they're clever. That there is no theory in this. You know, this is a wake-up call. You are being systematically exterminated on so many fronts. I mean, the chemtrail front, that's come out recently, this week, wasn't it? With a pilot admitting to geoengineering and thinking he's just spraying harmless silver oxide or something. How would he know what he's spraying and for what real reason he's spraying? Yeah, this is a wake-up call. It's time to realize that we are under attack, and if we don't do something about it, then there may not be too many generations left that will be able to do something about it. Once their iron fist comes down in the form that they want, then we're one false flag away from complete martial law, New World Order takeover, UN invasion. It's just waiting to happen. Anyway, this is all sparked off because someone said this week that we shouldn't be talking about recipes for eggnog and asking Stephen about those. We should be talking about the important things of realizing what's going on around us, which, to be fair, we don't.
Wait, what?
To be fair, we don't talk about it very often because we credit our audience with the fact that they should know roughly what we know in terms of what we've been through and the wake up. Sorry, I'm wittering.
John, I didn't know how you made eggnog. Luckily, I was on the show, so I found out live.
But, someone made a GIF, man. Hey, it's even better.
I missed this completely. Why have I not known anything about this?
What haven't you heard about?
I don't know anything about this. Like, where is all this on Twitter or something?
Yeah. Who is it? We are awake. We are awake.
We are waking up.
We are waking up.
Yeah, that's
put out
oh my God.
a GIF of the show, and we were talking about.
Apparently, we were
the eggnog recipe
on a holiday show. Darn it, we'll have to not do that anymore. I mean, look, we've been at this a couple of years, and I don't think that we've strayed from presenting as much truth about this fucked up world we live in on a regular basis. So that really, I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen it, and I don't know how.
I know what you're on about now. Well, right, I've seen it, and John, that's not right. That's not what I saw. I saw somebody go, these guys know what they're on about. Not only do they know about flat Earth, listen to this shit that they know about eggnog. They ain't just
I did see that.
This is researched.
Right.
And here's the proof.
I did see that. Okay. I'm on Twitter now. Yeah. So, yeah, apparently I read it different. So,
yeah, I must have misunderstood it.
Yeah, when it, mate, I thought it was a big up.
If it was Wahoo, he definitely wasn't giving us shit. I hope.
No. It was we are waking up.
That's Wahoo.
Yeah. I got that. But then he got a reply from.
Oh, it was somebody.
Say or is Wahoo. Okay, well, you pronounce it SAOIRSE.
I've already closed Twitter.
HOE. You're talking over me.
Oh, I thought I was muted. See, I don't know the new system. I truly thought I had muted it.
Anyone know how to pronounce that? The Huisaurus or something. Anyway, he said eggnog. What about the slave banking masters who run the world? I think a lot knows that the Earth is flat. Isn't it time to expose the control center?
He's right. What do you reckon? Do you reckon they've got a different eggnog recipe, like an aluminum eggnog?
Well, let's ask Stephen.
I'm glad you responded to that, John, because my first reaction was to get defensive. The initial response I was going to put was probably not very social.
It took me probably a good 45 minutes of walking up to the keyboard and typing something, stamping something in the key, and then walking up, and then coming, and then about 45 minutes later, I can't remember what I said. You're right. I think
you're right, which was a perfect answer. That was exactly what needed to be said. Not what I was going to say. That did not need to be said.
It was sort of peeing on the dynamite blue paper. Yeah, it's just, but no, it's a fair comment. To be fair,
it's sort of a fair comment. To be fair, I mean, if he's got actionable evidence, actionable intelligence on someone who's in control that we can out, that's unknown, some secret person that nobody knows that's in charge that we can out, then provide us with that actionable intelligence. Otherwise, we're just pissing in the wind.
Well, he replied with a video, Vatican Secret Society, Jesuits and the New World Order.
And you can make a pretty broad brushstrokes with Jesuits and the New World Order and stuff. But if we were exposing people, if what he wants to do is get off the eggnog recipes and start exposing these people in control, then we need names. We need actionable intelligence to expose them. Otherwise, we're just pissing in the wind. Sure, we can say Jesuits. We can say Freemasons. We can say Luciferians. We can paint with broad brushstrokes all day long. And there's plenty of podcasts out there that do it. We definitely do it from time to time as well. But you can't just take one clip out of a 3-hour show that we did last week on the back end of 2 years worth of content and just say, well, you're not exposing the people in charge. You're giving eggnog recipes. I mean, that's just sort of cherry picking what you're doing. And I suppose because it was a cherry picked clip put on Twitter that he would have a right to then cherry pick from there. But it's, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, no, I mean, it had the same effect on me, but it would, it's like you say, how can you put
John, I wouldn't put a cherry directly in eggnog. If I was making a cocktail like a snowball, then I'd put a cherry in it.
Oh, you got to ask Stephen about that, man. No, I would. You totally threw me off.
Because it's bullshit.
So essentially, they want us to expose the control center. They're done with flat Earth. We're tired of talking flat Earth and eggnog.
A lot of people know about flat Earth. Eggnog's not important. We need to start painting with really broad brushstrokes and pointing fingers at large groups of people. Apparently,
Beyonce.
It's all about the cloning center. And what else? Well, where's Tia?
Because we know it's not government. So it's who controls the government,
it's
and he's already.
Oh my gosh! Well,
you're doing it deliberately, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm just aggravated with this whole situation because I didn't see any of this like that. I read it completely through and just kind of clicked here or there. And I saw this going to bed, I think, last night.
Well, that's all right. It's just.
Well, it just didn't hit me the way it hit you guys. I just took it as like, yeah, whatever. Let's do it or whatever. I mean, yeah. That's actually what I wrote. Let's do it. I didn't really get all irate like y'all did. Apparently, it didn't hit me in the right way.
I appreciate constructive criticism.
Yeah,
and just telling me I need to point my fingers at a certain group of people because somebody says that they're the ones that are in charge, and that's how I should do this show from now on.
Well, this guy said in his first tweet it was about the slave banking masters. Then later it's the Jesuits and the New World Order. This is the whole point. How do you point your finger at any? I think it's just oversimplifying the whole thing. I think there's hundreds and hundreds of factions out there. They're arguing amongst themselves there, but what is of no doubt is that we are controlled by them. They're controlling the media, they're controlling the food, they're controlling the atmosphere, the air, they're controlling the earth shape. So it's, point your fingers all you want, but like Josh says, give us something actionable, something with evidence on individuals, and we've got no problem with that.
I think
Harry Potter is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on, dude.
I was just going to say, I think Harry Potter is a great analogy for what goes on in our society today. There's a different secret world out there, secret society that the common person knows nothing about. And they're the ones that do all this stuff. We don't even get to see the people that are really in charge or know their names, the people making the choices.
I'll go further and say that Harry Potter was an allegory for exactly that. We are the Muggles.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is magic? Technology that isn't understood. And that's the one thing in the book that they're not allowed to share with us.
Very interesting. All their technology is presented as early Victorian. I'm going to pull it to Flat Earth guys. Sorry, to Mudflood, because this critique you were just mentioning is talking about the controllers and the systems. We don't discuss that, and I think again Mudflood and the intricacies of that. And the different topics that this entails. It's not just about soil. For me, flat Earth is one of those things that's actually embroiled. The introduction of the globe is one of the things that is part of this bigger scheme. And the Mudflood title is a bit like flat Earth. We don't just look at the Earth and go, it's flat, do we? There's lots of other subsets and little offshoots that lead to supporting that kind of conclusion. And I think what we've got here with Mudflood is, as this guy's saying, nobody's ever going to be able to put a name to it. As Josh is saying, what do you want? A name, mate? You get a name, are you? But what you maybe can start to do is start to look at how well constructed the web is, and look at some of the clues of why actually some of the historical events have occurred, the real reasons, as opposed to the bullshit that Germany wanted to invade Poland and Russia wanted to do this and France wanted to do this, and all the nonsense. And I think certainly the leading mud flooders are all flat earthers as far as I'm aware. And I think for me, this is we all know the Earth's flat. And for me, this is the kind of next topic that we evaluate as well and hopefully contribute to. It's certainly got my attention, and I'll stop.
Well, for me, we all know the Earth's flat. We may do, but until I see the spinning ball Earth not being taught in school as fact, then I will consider my job over, and then I would move on to things like mud flood. I think it's great to have these things running along parallel, but to say that we all know the Earth's flat,
I meant we. I meant the collective here. I mean, the one thing I would say, and I want to hand it over to Walt, really, is there was something that I saw with regards to Michelle and the response you said with regards to the foundlings. And flat Earth will never grip my wife. It will never interest her. But it was interesting to me that a flattie's wife who isn't interested as well also was gripped by something that is so, like I say, intrinsically linked. It's all part of the web of deceit. I'll shut up, Walt.
You don't have to. Absolutely. Well, definitely, I was as shocked as anyone else. I mean, she is definitely not into research on this type of thing. She watches things when I make her watch them. If it's just like, you've got to see this, or if we have an amazing guest or a great show, I'll make her watch 5 to 12 minutes before she gets through. The mud flood, the whole orphan trains, they all came here. They came to Louisiana. She already knew about that from just she's into some of the history here in Franklin. And for her to dig into it, start looking on sites, start digging through videos, I go through and see stuff on the YouTube feed that she's watched without me here. I'm like knowing it's got her hooked. Now, that has faded a bit. She isn't digging into it as much, but like when did we go? I guess when it was for New Year's Day, we were driving downtown and we passed one church, and she was like, look at the windows, and pointing to the edge of the road. I mean, how the angle down, and you see the windows getting shorter and shorter. I'm like, yeah, she's hooked. She knows what's up. So it's definitely got her.
That's awesome.
Can you just tell me what orphan trains is all about?
So repeatedly, there were tens, hundreds of thousands of children that were shipped from these cities up north to the south. They were sent to plantation homes. They were sent to rich family, poor family. It was like a flood of children that came from different things is what the thing is. If there was just one consistent answer she could come across that would make sense, then maybe it would make sense. But some people say it was behind plague. Well, if you look at the dates, that doesn't jive all the time. If you look at
what dates is it?
I don't see. This is her area of expertise. I've been just digging into the whole Martin. Oops, I keep hitting my mic. I must have moved it this morning. The pictures and looking at all that's my thing, catching that. Look, there she is right there. You want to get on the show and talk about orphan kids? You ready?
No.
I knew that was not going to work. I tried. But yeah, hang on.
The thing with the orphan kids.
Tell Michelle I said hi too, Walt.
Zach said hey. Everybody said hey. She said hey. Just tell them what you know about the orphan train. Just say off the camera.
I don't know anything.
Oh, see, I knew she was going to pull that. I knew she was. Josh knows. Zach knows. Anyway, so definitely there's really no explanation on where they all can come from. I mean, it's just like these pictures of the cities that have two people, looking at the camera, and it's empty, and it's a huge metropolis. It's like, where the fuck are all these people? Reset, that whole thing, I still don't know. I mean, I'm down the hole as deep as you probably at this point, Adam, and I still don't know if this is some kind of natural thing that they're just aware of. The comets, and the cycles of all these earth changes that have been repeatedly talked about in all the Native American prophecy stuff that I know about, all of the earth change stuff I know about from like Gordon Michael Scallion and his maps and stuff.
Yeah, like if you could predict the Tunguska, put my teeth in, the Tunguska event, if you predict things like that, you can clear up effectively afterwards. That's right. The thing. Is it naturally predictable events that are talked about? The elite cycles. Yeah.
Right. And they can prepare by taking kids. All these kids that disappear. It's not all just Satan pedophilia. They might be getting these kids ready to take them into these underground places that we keep seeing in all these pictures. And then once this catastrophe is over, they have a whole, bunch of kids that they've had time underground to indoctrinate, get them ready with a bunch of bullshit when they hit the surface again, cavemen them, whatever, I think maybe that's where all these orphans came from. Is the last reset.
For me, if you try and I've tried, it's kind of like if you look at this as just a single and kind of antediluvian event, and think of it in terms of Noah's flood, and it's what happens after. I think that's very simplified. I think, as Martin Leaker probably agree, I think there's probably more than one reset going off here. Excuse me. For me anyway, guys, the early reset is the one that allows the buildings. Second reset is the one that really brings the populations into the cities as we know in the early 1800s. And I think and this is something I did want to mention actually, is the contrast between America and Europe. And then what we see for the next 200 years is how these buildings and civilizations are deconstructed and then integrated into modern history. And I would put it simply that if you look at Europe, we have wars, some more wars, local wars, big wars, European wars, world wars, lots of wars. America's actually very different. And I think America is a lot more telling from the fact that not everything is decimated. The telling side of the initial wipeout, there's some ancient, some really old kind of oil paintings that really do justice to the North American civilization was there. I'll bore somebody with that onto, but a lot of the photographs that exist early 1800s pre-Civil War show this warlike decimation. But what I think is interesting from the late 1800s onwards is that, or mid to late 1800s onwards, all of the social reconstruction of the cities and towns is done under social development. For some reason, some guy that's just built a hotel 30 years ago suddenly decides he wants to spend another squillion dollars making it even better, but look shitter, and not be as nice. But more fundamentally, I think this is kind of embedded, as I've seen the American mud flooders start to talk regionally, is the complete... It's a bit like, the civilization games where you get your city so far and then they have like the catastrophes hit. it's city fires everywhere across all of North America. All these stone buildings just burn to shit. And I'll finish with just one little thing that really does tie it together as they, for me, continue to try to eradicate the architectural history of the post-civilizations. Is somebody this week's done some great work on New Zealand, demonstrating that the oldest documents aren't East India Company, they're not Her Majesty's or His Majesty's government documents, they're just the domain of Christchurch, the oldest, which have got the oldest maps, and they were doing some great work showing you that how a few years ago the earthquake that hit New Zealand and Christchurch was very, very, very unfortunate in only wiping out all the old buildings in the old sector of town, the cathedral, as it's now described, as opposed to power generator, which I think flooders would urge people to look at the free energy with that. So I think I'd finish with that they're still doing it and they will continue to do it. So watch for these things. Your old buildings now disappear, these glorious solid stone unburnable buildings that ignited all across America from the 1900s to the late 1960s, 70s, and even now you guys are having these unfortunate events.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
can't wait to get over to Eastern Europe
You're in the zone
and
there,
see.
mate.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to look at some of the old structures and all that kind of stuff once I get there.
I think getting to Bulgaria as well, because they're a strange government that seems to oppose stuff. I think they'll be. It's been subject to less of the Soviet bloc destruction.
I went there a couple of years ago. I'll tell you what, that place is flat and it's small. It's about the size of Wales, but I drove the length and breadth of it in about a week, and yeah, really flat. Great place, amazing architecture, amazing history. I was looking to live there, but yeah, bugger that.
I think
Anyway.
the thing over there, Zach, whether you're in Croatia or if you venture further afield, would be probably to see the prevalence of the double eagle and the single eagle as it gets diluted through time. But that double eagle, double phoenix crest, you will see, I think it's part of the true history, I would suggest, that's attributed to Slavs now and Etruscans previously and the likes, but is I think part of the true, certainly European Tartarian symbology. We're all aware of the griffin and the owl from the central location, but I think certainly that more widespread stuff that where you see the goodness of the kingdom reported in like the Peter John kind of symbology where there was a king overseeing the king. I think certainly in that kind of Eastern European countries, and certainly the Germanic countries as well, Poland, Germany, and Russia as well. It's still in Russian symbology, not so much towards the Spain and Germany side, but that double eagle symbol. I think if you're looking around, have a look for that, mate, because that's a great indicator of perverted history.
Yeah, don't they claim that was Roman, early Roman?
Well, I was going to say,
or no, late Roman.
Yeah, unless you realise that everybody throughout what they claim as history keeps claiming the same symbol. Let's differentiate ourselves.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you've got the Roman standard Roman siege. You've got like I said, the Russians, the Germans, the Habsburgs, a lot of the Prussian royal families and or those had the same symbology. It's all there because they can't hide this stuff. They still have to use a lot of the old stuff that's there to reconstruct their history around it. So they can't hide it. You'll see a lot of it now. It's still in the Masonic stuff. It's been hijacked in that. They've got the double eagle with the 33 and the New World Order in Latin above it. You know what I mean? It's in so much ancient architecture that it's kind of that cargo culture where
if you can't erase it, take it
adopt
over.
it and
Make it
reuse
yours.
it, and reappropriate it.
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be interesting. I'm so glad I waited to do my traveling with my eyes that I have now than the eyes that I had 20 years ago. I don't think I would have appreciated as much.
I'm just trying to find all the pictures I took in Bulgaria and have a look through with mud flood eyes. I know I went in a really weird church on top of it's like an island in the middle of a river up in the north somewhere. And it was, you weren't allowed to take photos. So obviously I went in taking as many photos as I could, but surreptitiously. But some of the weird murals and things in there that make the Denver airport look weird, look normal. But yeah, I'll carry on trying to find them.
Hey, John, I see in chat we've got Paul on the plane, and
yay, hey, Paul.
He's kind of got the bug this week. He asked for a couple of starter vids. I don't know if you're about, Paul, and Josh could send you a link. You're more than welcome to jump in, mate, on this. But it's one of those ones. He kind of asked me, "Can you send me a few starter vids, sort of thing." It's like, where do you bloody start?
Where do you start?
Where do you start on this one? It's not like, oh look, this basement windows, job done. It's
Dude, it's so, and that's how I felt, because you kept trying to pull us a little bit into it early on, and I kept resisting because I could see it was such a deep hole. And yeah, good luck, Paul. Good luck.
Sorry, real quick. I've not even gone down the whole mud flood hole. I'm just sort of catching it on the peripheral from you guys, but I'm aware of it.
I'm standing on the
edge. But I got a guy at work completely in over his head, so to speak, on the mud flood. I just kind of pointed him in the direction, and he sent me a message on Facebook, I guess over the weekend, said he spent the first 4 hours of his morning watching mud flood videos. So he's in it.
I've tried to. It's just finding the time to take it all in. I mean, it's, Martin Leakey's channel. It's hard work and time consuming. The one thing that struck me about the mud flood was the sort of full size windows that were in buildings, but you could only see, say, the top third of the window. But you look down and it's got a full-size window in it, and that to me just made me think, who on earth would build a house like that? Why? Something's happened, but that's about as far as I can get on it so far. I mean, there's giants involved with it. There's the Star Force. There's the Great Flood. All sorts of things being woven into the narrative, for a better word. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like some starter videos myself, Paul.
For me, right, John, because I was into this kind of before mud flood existed. Before flat Earth for me. I was into alternate history and it kind of all come together in a way, with regards to spending the hours reading Fomenko's volumes, and it not clicking properly. It's only with particularly Martin's work, and kind of it all kind of meshing together and starting to make sense and understanding. Because outside of the Technasmia stuff, he's done a lot of stuff on going through copious lead atlases and just showing you the voluminous pictures that describe a completely different world, but with this architecture, sometimes ruined, sometimes a bit more well kept, you know. And for me, it Mudflood was the thing that kind of pieced it together. But if I was giving you any advice, I'd say for it to have some credibility, kind of go back and look at Flamenco's work. If you've got 30, 40 hours to read some of the stuff, really do, because it is outstanding in its appraisal of methodology, both history and science. So he first of all takes, you know, stuff apart really well, and then he builds it back up with not science, it is statistics. He's using markers and stuff to statistically demonstrate that historical stories, whilst may have different names in them, are realistically the same piece of history retold in different parts of the world. And in doing that with a hell of a lot of detail, which I won't bore you with, it kind of demonstrates repetitions of European, particularly Russian history, and also biblical history, and how they overlay and repeat, and how these overlays and repetitions have been used to build up 2,000 odd years of history. And the best way of exemplifying this is probably to suggest to you that, do you really think that the Greeks had an empire, then the Romans had an empire, and then between that, the Egyptians had an empire either side of it all? You know, it's that kind of real quality historical analysis he does that puts it all, and some more. I mean, that's very simplified, but that's where I would start if I wanted to be able to give it some extra validation other than looking at buildings and saying, yeah, you won't build a building like that. Why are those buildings like that?
Sorry.
Rambled too long again. Press the tumbleweed button.
See, I'm still
Josh.
struggling with controls on this thing. I was trying to find the mute again. My apologies. And Adam, just as a side note, do you know your camera is pointed at a piece of wood? I think. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's because I got upset earlier when we was talking about the thingy, and when I was pressing hide my camera, it kept cutting the screen out, and so I just twisted it. For any moment, I will turn it back. There you go. Look.
No, I just was making sure you had not like fallen and couldn't get back up.
There you are.
There he is.
Oh, see,
well said.
Yes.
I was going to say something, but I forgot.
Well, I think the point I'd say is it's a huge topic, guys, and it really is.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I've got all of Flamenco's work on saved for the time. I'm waiting for this magical time in my life where I'm convalescing from a serious illness or something, where I can watch all these videos and DVDs and films and read all these books and everything that I just don't seem to have time to read at the moment. But for me, I mean, I worked my way through what's his face, Velikovsky, and a lot of that made sense. It's okay. It's on a spinning ball Earth or whatever, but a lot of that made sense. Flamenco, all his stuff is available for free. You can download it as PDF or put it on your Kindle or whatever it is. It's like trying to explain flat Earth to something. Where do you start? And well, actually, flat Earth's quite easy because it's
Show me the
where's the curve? Where's the spit? Mud flood. It's confusing as hell for me. But I love the idea. So I look forward to someone putting a cogent thing together that someone with little time can watch, which sounds like is me, Josh, and Zach, and Paul.
Yeah, I haven't yet. It's just so big. It's one of those things. I don't doubt it at all. I can see it. I can see the signs of it and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, it's like standing in front of a big giant ocean and trying, getting ready to say, okay, I'm going to swim across this one now.
You just got to jump in and start treading water, man.
Oh, have you seen me flapping about with this thing here? This is my little. When we guys first met, I was pissing around with magnet.
Oh yeah,
Coils and shit.
Quite well, sir.
Like I say, there's always a little bit of synchronicity, isn't there? And Martin has done a lot of demonstration talking about. I think even years ago on Globebusters, they were talking about atmospheric potential, the difference in the air. And this was something there's a lot of free energy device stuff that came out 5 or 6 years ago. And this was one of the things that I kind of copied and replicated just to see if it would work. And to my surprise, it did. So this does generate current, small voltage, small ampage, but it does work. And what you've got, I'll show you there, is you've got a magnet on the bottom. This is a capacitor, which I used to store the charge, see how much was there, and store a little. See, this is a small device, but what you've got there is a magnet, and stuck to the bottom of it is a bit of carpet tape, basically, with felt on it to insulate. There's then just a coil.
How do we make you full screen, mate?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose.
I did it by accident earlier, John. I don't know where it was.
I don't think I see. I'm impotent. Double click me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, that's not how it. No, it didn't work. That says exit full screen. Anyway, look, there it's there. It's not. It doesn't.
Yeah,
On top of that is a coil, look, and then in there is basically a large bit of ferric metal. And
right-click pin video. Sorry.
Well, that just will gather.
People are going to want to see this,
Well, there you go. Maybe I'll do a little bit more. That was a little tease. That's a present for Martin Leach. I've kept that and dug it out for him.
We should do a video on just this, Adam, like a little 5-10 minute video of you demonstrating how you made that happen. Just like the moonlight experiment I was asking you about. It's hidden in that 6-hour show with Dara Marble. And, we need to bring it out so it's easy to find. You have done some amazing work.
Absolutely.
As John said earlier.
Absolutely.
I'll dig it out. I'll get the voltmeter out on that.
Well, I actually saw something this week. I'm tempted to try to share my screen, but man, I know it's going to tear my resources up. Who could share this video if I give it to him easiest?
Someone with Telegram.
You need a guy. Or that guy.
Is that guy? Is that the one? All right, I'm going to send it to that guy because I thought I had shared it, but then I remembered I was saving it for the show. So,
hi, Hank.
Where are you putting it?
Hey, Hank. I'm trying to find a place to put it. I've gotten it to full screen again. Okay.
Oh,
this is
the
the
gimme kisses for the guys. Oh, and hugs too.
Cuddles, Zach. Just cuddles.
I'm just looking at Zoom. This is pretty cool. On this little toolbar at the bottom of the screen, there's a selection called support with a little pop-up menu. I can request desktop control from one of you guys, or I can request to control one of your applications, or I can request that one of you guys restart your computer.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And presumably we can decline.
I will take it over.
I will take you over.
Give it a go, Josh. We've got 5 minutes, haven't we, before we
Shut
got
me
a break.
down.
Right. See if you can take over the OBS and end it all. Right.
Okay, so I've dropped it in the actual Zoom chat just to see if it'll
I've
go
got a
through.
grant
there.
permission right there. Sorry. Grant.
Sorry.
It's coupons. There you go.
I see it.
Oh,
Well,
shit. Do you want to allow this app to make changes?
We do not
Dun,
consent.
dun, dun,
I've
dun,
consented.
dun, dun.
Select an app to share. I've got to share an app. I'm going to give you full OBS control, Josh. Confirmed.
Most powerful word.
Snapping his finger and removing the universe.
Shit.
Bum bum bum.
I
You're
just
the
got
daddy now, Josh.
Oh, that's it.
that one.
He gave me the power.
That is
Can't
crazy.
help it.
Don't draw on my screen.
We're gonna go Inception.
That's insane. I can control Adam's screen. Not that I couldn't before, given we had Team Viewer.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do something with that right there. Maybe this right here.
Yeah, latency's pretty crap.
Yeah, but you're drawing all over my first screen. I don't even think that's broadcasting for some reason. Because I've got 2 screens, it's a bit... Yeah, you're just drawing on my OBS. You've only got control of my... You can only diss my OBS. Can you not control the OBS?
I wasn't drawing on it at all. Yeah, I just
that was just Yahoo's.
You
I
children.
did the OBS. I
We're
adjusted the
trying to
volume.
do science here.
I know. Before we lose the whole thread of reality, go to that video. It's really quick, and you will. Someone has repeatedly at some point talked about phones and how they are secretly some kind of free energy device. They're just dumbed down with software. Well, this video is pretty intriguing.
I think we should come back with that after
Is
the
it
break.
that close to it? It is that close, John. Thank you, sir.
When
I hope
Josh
that was a smiley
successfully
face.
hacks Adam's PC and shuts us down.
Right. It's all Inception. We're about to explode right here.
You're going to kill the feed?
We need mute. No, I don't know. It's up to Josh. He's...
I'm afraid we can't do that, Adam.
I've just got T-Rex arms now. That's all I can do.
So go fill your wine up. Go have a whittle.
Good shout.
Go warm your feet up.
I need to do that. It's getting chilly here.
Kiss your wife and children and dog.
Say good night earlier.
And we'll see you back after the break.
Full screen. How do I get out of full screen?
Where you can call us on the flat line, which is
Not open, but I can open it.
I can't remember it anyway. So
304-503 flat. That's 304-503-3528.
wow.
Flat, baby.
Yeah.
Are you in control then, Josh? Or have you stopped?
I guess I'm still technically have control.
If he was in control, we would have
Technically.
stopped.
Let's control.
You know what, Josh? It's a bit like that couple in it trying to add a bit of spice
How
back
do I
into
get
the
out?
marriage. But we just say, look, do
But
it the
just
normal
because
way.
Just because I can doesn't mean I
Yeah.
should. Why don't you go ahead and take control back? You'll kill the stream. I'll play Gravity, and I'll be able to play Walt's video when I get back.
Adam, just grab that colored cable out the side of your PC and we're done.
I'm
The
freaking looking behind my PC as if there's one
The
there.
RJ45. The
Oh.
one
On-
that's
On RS232 interface
blinking
lead. Let's have a look.
internet.
No.
Just pull that one and we're done.
We need a bit of gravity, mate. Go anywhere.
We're all
Big gravity.
pretty high.
I'm going to mute. I'll hand over to you, Josh.
Sounds good. I got it queued up and ready to go.
I'm singing along with Cheyenne this time.
So just a reminder, anybody that's going to go ahead and sing along, make sure you mute up John, especially.
No, John, right?
Well, that's it. We've got a few things to talk about when we get back. The fella that got me into Flat Earth for the very first time recently made an appearance on YouTube. My feelings are a little bit hurt, and I've been asking him for years, but that's not entirely true. I guess I asked him a couple of years ago. I guess that's a little different than asking him for years. But so that's pretty interesting. I'm going to skim through that maybe just to hear what he had to say, because he's a pretty interesting guy. He's got some different points of view on a lot of things. But he was the one that first got me into. That was, almost 4 years ago. Can it be that long? That's disgusting. And we know we had a few other things to discuss. What else do we have to talk about, Adam? There's one. Oh, it was the Coriolis. We wanted to talk a little bit about the Coriolis. I remember we had a few other things too, but I'll be damned if I didn't write them down.
I've got Coriolis because that was John's favourite, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit of. I know I'm being childish about it.
No idea what you're on about.
I'm really liking this John D guy. From a geeky's point of view, like really cool. Like I sit and read all his slides. He's like my hero. He's like,
finally, Adam. Finally, someone is. I don't know how many times I've mentioned this guy. I don't know how many times his name has been put down in the pre-notes for the show. Have we ever covered him? I don't know, but
no. But I'm secretly stalking him. Actually, Roxanne has joined him for an experiment test, whatever you want to call it, a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And I did get a few sneak peeks of that, and he has passed his email on. And we did speak, John, to him in the summer, and that was when he wasn't. He did say, I've put my videos out. That's me done. And I know he's spoke to Paul on the plane since he kind of
that was brilliant.
Great out with Paul. Coming out with Paul, and since then, mate, I think he's been doing some really good work, because actually it's really clever. He's staying silent, and he is just doing these slides that represent his point.
Mate, I dread when I see one of his videos come out and it's like 15 minutes. I'm like, that's going to be 3/4 of an hour for me.
Yeah. Good quality.
But I'm the same. I have to pause every one of them, read through it, and he's bang on.
I kind of, if he could just give me another 5 seconds, Dr. D, another 5 seconds per slide, I reckon I'd get to the end. You just got me, because you've already read it a couple of times before you've timed it. So just give me a couple more seconds, pal.
I'm the world's slowest reader, so it doesn't matter how many seconds you give me. It's just going to be pause, play, pause, play, pause, play.
But yeah, shout out to him, because he's doing a good job, and he's doing it in his field, and he's already taken Metabunk apart, and I think today he's released one. And those that are familiar with Nathan's show be aware of. Don't you hate that? You hate that.
I just need to clarify real quick.
Some clues.
Is this stuff that you want to talk about after the break, or is stuff you just want to expound on until we hit the break?
I'm done. Really done.
This feels like a pre-show meeting. Right, let's bugger off, please.
Ruhif. Right. There you go.
Right.
And I've nearly done. He's done a vid today with Ruhif kind of coming back with the standard ball of bullshit. Oh, I can quote a bit of science. And he's taken R, right, and he's inserted it. Now, I don't want to get as a strike or a copyright from it. Yeah, I'm done, Josh. Good on you, Dr. John D.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Because all I wanted was sort of a quick rundown of the stuff we still had left to cover, but it's cool.
I've covered it. We're done.
All right, we're done. All right. Well, then we'll just wrap it up, everybody. Have a great night.
Peace out.
Well,
Coriolis.
I'm crossing that one out. I've got space lettuce.
All right, we have some space lettuce. We have some stories we wanted to talk about.
Oh, one more thing we haven't talked about because I forgot about it during pre-show. There's a new rapper. I know we know all about the flat rappers out there, B.O.B. and well, there's a few. Anyway, but there's a new one. KB Flat Smack has hit the plane over there, shouting it out for Decibel Z. We'll talk about that too after the break.
Yeah, you'll have to interpret whatever the fuck you just said.
and Josh, that's the kind
Josh,
of
hit
kick
the
under
button.
the table. No,
Do it. Go.
No, the kick under the table. I've suddenly realised because there is it like we've been asking Stephen, haven't we, about stuff, and we know that the email's out there. imrealmedia@gmail.com, and we have had an email this week. Serious, not pissing around. Stop laughing, Savage. Serious, mate. Yeah. So we have got a serious question for Professor Stephen Hawking.
So we have our new weekly segment.
After the break.
So,
Ask Stephen.
go to the
Yeah,
Go,
after the
hit the
break.
button.
That's what we're doing.
Do it.
Ask Stephen.
I'm sorry.
So-
I can't let you do that, Josh.
Ask Stephen.
Hit the button, Frank.
Coriolis.
I'm muted.
All sorts of good stuff coming up.
Hit the button, Frank.
I'm trying. There we go.
Why would we say it in 10 words when we can say
We're
it in
up
1,000?
pretty high, our heads are almost in the clouds, and their feet are chained to the ground with their chains of misery.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
They've got a hold of me. They won't let go of me. Let go of me. They might have gravity on their side, but something's pulling us high. Got the potential to fly. So let them be what holds
I think
it
her
back.
audio has disappeared over the horizon.
Incredible chance. They're lucky to have had a glance at you while you defy gravity. They can be cruel and mean and a huge pain.
And there she is back again.
Our heads
Creative
on
optics.
the clouds now. Don't let them make it rain. A smile can be the sign they're missing out on their rainy day. They might have gravity on their side.
No,
But
the audio's being refracted.
Got the potential to fly. Don't let them be what holds you back from this one incredible chance. They're lucky to have had a glance at you while you defy gravity. They say we aren't strong enough. We don't have what it takes. I say yeah, they're wrong enough, and we'll show them someday. They might have gravity on their side, but something's pulling us high. Got the potential to fly. Oh yeah, don't let them be what holds you back from incredible chance. They're lucky to have had a glance at you. Oh, you defy gravity. You defy gravity. You defy gravity. Yeah, yeah. At you, oh, you defy gravity.